All right. Who's got questions? Who's got questions? On this side before I have to sprint over there.
Hello, brother.
I'm mad at this side then. Get your stuff together. All right. Announce your name.
My name is Stacy, and you talked about trusting your gut. And one of the things that the question that I have for you: how do you begin to trust your gut? You know, that's a big key for a lot of people. They don't trust themselves. I know you say you said believe in yourself, but how did you realize that your gut was the right thing?
You know what? I think someone brought it up earlier today. I'll be honest. There's a danger in the tech world where you see someone come out at 22, sell a company for $6 billion, like, all right, I'm there next. And you don't see the other 3,000 people that have not done that and have gone belly up. So there is the strategy of going out there and becoming a massive hit overnight. It's like music, right? For every major superstar, there's like 100 guys trying to sing in a band somewhere in a bar trying to make it. I do believe that there is some sort of, it may not be the 20 years, 30 years has been past, but there's some sort of training ground that you've got to do some sort of heavy lifting, some little bit of grunt work in the early days. And I believe that's where you test your gut, where it doesn't cost you that much. You haven't raised $500,000 or $1 million to start your own company. You've worked somewhere. I failed a couple of times. And so when you fail on Coke's dime, it's okay. You know, I learned, no big deal. It was like $200 million failure, but not a big deal. And so I think that if you do it in places in the early days and you realize what you're good at and what maybe is a bad call, because I've had that, you know, I created a brand called Vitamin Energy that was just a dog and didn't go anywhere. But Vitamin Water Smart Water did great. So I think you've got to test your gut in, like racing, on smaller tracks before you go to the, you know, Formula One or NASCAR.
Hi, my name is Jay. I had a quick question regarding broadcast advertising versus field marketing. I noticed that I see Vitamin Water all over out there right now doing a lot of just field marketing. Then I noticed a lot of the success you've been talking about has been through a lot of TV advertising. Do you see there should be a right balance between the two? Do you think that broadcast advertising is just more effective and field marketing supports that, or what's your take on that?
So I always start with field marketing. And so the creative disruption on field marketing is difficult to present because it's micro disruption, right? It's coming onto the USC campus and it's disrupting people here like we did 10 years ago. And it became the hottest product on campus 10 years ago. We had the right parties, we had the right events. Field marketing is a much more effective way in the early days of getting your brand out there because you don't have $20 million to go launch a media campaign. So I've always done field marketing first because I feel that regardless of whatever the consumer product is, the most powerful thing you can do is buy a brand. So, you know, if you offer a person a product or a snack or whatever it is and they try, they go, oh, I love it, much more likely to go buy it than if you see it in an ad. When you want to start going from reaching 1 million people to 100 million people, you kind of need to go to broadcast. So it's like a staged approach. And then I think at one point you got to find that hybrid because I never want to lose field marketing. You always want to have that ground connection, but you then have to reduce it a little bit and bring in more of the broadcast and and whether it's on TV or online, you just got to find that balance.
I'll get over there. Conserving my energy.
What are some of the powerful characteristics of company cultures you've been in?
Sorry, say that one more time.
What are some of the powerful characteristics of company cultures that you've been in?
Passion is a big one. I think that, especially in Vitamin Water, people were very passionate about what they did. They really liked their job. People would stay very late. You know, they would do it because they liked what they did. Fun, which is a very overrated term, but one thing that we did is whenever there's company events and whenever we sponsor things, we tried to let a number of people get to go to these things and go to things they ordinarily have access to. So if you create a fun environment and create a unique event, and people both lower down and higher up the food chain, I think you create a fun culture. And then the third one I think is ideas can come anywhere. So, you know, I've taken ideas from, I think I once took an idea from the guy who handed the mail out. And I think that it doesn't really matter where it comes from. It doesn't have to be top of the company. It can come from anywhere. And when people feel like an idea of theirs can get spread through the company because you allow that to happen, it creates a very powerful culture.
Any more on this side before
Jackson. Thanks so much for coming. You talked a lot about building brands and kind of having these crazy ideas and trying all this stuff. I'm curious how you build your own personal brand and how you build credibility so that when you have these crazy ideas, people will take you seriously.
A little bit through that 1 and 9 thing I told you about. I think a lot of it's word of mouth. I've not, some friends of mine have argued to me, and that might change, that I need to probably get out there and do more of it because there's a lot of cool companies that I'm sort of the connective tissue through, and I've sort of had an impact on a fair few brands. I've really focused on building the brands versus me, but I think what's happened as a result of that is people in the industry, Adam being an example of that, have now sort of heard what brands I've been part of, and so it's like, it's 4 degrees of separation or 3 degrees. It's a Kevin Bacon now-esque, where I've made enough movies that I can a lot of people, and I think that a lot of entrepreneurs. Doesn't mean I get everything. I still miss opportunities because when you get a lot of things coming at you, trying to pick through which one's a winner, which is not, is difficult. It's easy 5 years later. Oh yeah, I should have picked that brand, but at the time it comes to you and it's tiny, it's difficult. But I think the word of mouth is the biggest thing, and now I'm probably going to go out there and start to do more.
So a question regarding how you're right here.
Oh, sorry. He started here and then he switched. So you got.
So kind of you're going with your gut a lot, but how much of this are you testing your ideas before you like implement it on a mass scale? So you have like an idea of how you want to do like run a campaign. Are you testing it with a small community and then going big with it, or are you just going like straight away?
So like, yes. So I send it to a bunch of friends, and then family, and get their point of view. And I don't do really. In some companies we've started to do a little more testing, but a lot of the times with the campaigns we run it internally within the company, because we feel that people working, and Vitamin Water is a classic example. People working within the company really understood the brand. And so they will call you out on what's not working and what is working. So once you start building the culture we talked about, people who get the company and understand the brand and feel it, you can run stuff internally, and usually you get, yes, a little bit of drinking the Kool-Aid, but you can get some pretty good feedback. But when it comes to choosing companies to invest in, I literally send it to like 30 friends and see what they think. Like this beef jerky that I invested in, because everyone wants a protein snack. Protein is hot. It's difficult to find when you're traveling, airports here and there, try and find it. And the beef jerky that's on the market is usually the leftover meat that tastes nasty. We start with like real steak. It's like a shameless plug, but we start with real steak and it tastes fantastic. I sent it to a bunch of friends. They all loved it. I'm like, this sounds like a good idea. Let's invest. Getting out? It's just me.
No, you're a good-looking guy. You don't have to hold that up.
All right.
All right, when you're ready, I'm ready for you too.
All right, sorry, buddy. I'm
No,
having
no
tech
worries.
issues here.
I want to actually ask you, how do you know where to start? Like, let's say put vitamin water in a Whole Foods compared to a Ralph's, or New York City or Los Angeles. How do you go about that?
1 in 10. So it varies by each brand, but you generally want to start with where you're going to get the influencers, the 1 in 10 who influence the other 9. So Whole Foods is probably a better place to start than Ralph's, just because the audience going in there, their understanding of what's better for you, especially in my field, because every product I'm involved in is a better for you product. I'm just investing in a juice company. Pressed juice is hot. The one I'm getting involved in is a full nutrition line. So it's not just pressed, it's blended, got protein milks. And we did a demo and ran a deal at one Whole Foods this weekend in Columbus Circle in New York, and sold 300 bottles. 300 bottles at $8 a bottle is a lot of money. So out of one store, $2,400. So one store doing that to me, those are signs. You got to look for signs like that you're on the right track. Whole Foods is an important piece. So it varies. Not every product works. For beef jerky,
the market is not Whole Foods because they sell this like the nasty salmon jerky and no one really buys it there. But convenience stores are a huge way to go. So you want to hit the convenience stores or the Bristol Farms of the world where people treat it like a grocery / convenience type in and out place. So it varies in the brand, but again, it goes to the cities and the locations where you want to find the influencers who spread the word.
My name is Jake, and my question for you: you said you do a lot of work with celebrities, and I was wondering how you felt about Kobe creating his new company and what the impact that'll have on celebrities and athletes across the country and globe.
I'm meeting him on Friday, so I'll tell you. So Kobe actually partnered with another friend of mine. It's a cool brand called Body Armor, and so Kobe invested in that. And Kobe's very smart. He said very obviously that his basketball career is coming to an end, and he wants to be an entrepreneur, and he loves building and creating things. So what he's doing, because he's very smart, is structuring what a lot of other guys do more loosely. So there's a lot of other celebrities that have invested in companies, that have taken stakes in companies. He's more formalizing it and building a team around him to go pick some of the best stuff out there. So I think that people have been doing what Kobe's doing. I mean, 50 changed the game, right? When he did that, everybody said, I want skin in the game. That's when people won. And then Dre did it with Beats, and suddenly, Dre's made more money on Beats than he ever made in his music career. And so he was brilliant. He got involved in something that really works. So skin in the game and being part of building brands is now part of pop culture in this country. And Kobe's just very smart at the way he's structuring, the way he's going to go about doing it. He's a very cerebral guy.
Hi, my name is Andrew. You talked a lot about influence and being an influencer. And have you ever thought of using your influence for a noteworthy cause like building schools or other causes?
Yeah. So what I do at the moment, so this is where my girlfriend pushes me, I generally give money to friends of mine who do a lot of stuff. So I will go to an event like this and say, you know what, here's $5,000 or $10,000 for this cause that you want. And I'll do that with everybody that I know when they invite me to events, because I feel they've already got an infrastructure. I think the phase 2 for me is to create my own infrastructure on something, and I've got to hone in on what are the areas. I've got 2 or 3 areas that I'm passionate about. So the next stage is to do my own foundation and have others put in money into it. But at the moment, I'm giving into people that I know around their causes.
Hi, my name is Fedi Akub. So earlier on, you were saying about how you seek out great original ideas and whatnot, then grow them out to this amazing monster or whatever it is. So, but then that seems kind of similar to what a VC or an accelerator would do at a smaller scale. However, in your case, it's basically, as you say, you and Stevie. So I was gonna say then, what is kind of your infrastructure, or what kind of advantage does that give you, and why don't you start kind of your own kind of team or mini VC / accelerator kind of thing to go about that? And second thing, if you could comment on what happened with the Vitamin Energy.
A lot of questions. Okay, let me try and remember it. I shouldn't have drunk before this. So the first part, what I do is I'm a VC. So the way I do it, and I may go and at the moment I'm just using my own money to do it because I feel that's less stress, and I don't have to. If I lose my money, it's okay. I don't want to lose other people's money. So what we do is we're VCs, and that's spotting right brands, building it, incubating it, growing it. I'm sure at some stage I may take that, create a larger fund, and do that on a larger scale. The difference of what I do is I have a great network. So Vitamin Water was a very big family. And what happened after Vitamin Water is that family spread out into a bunch of other amazing companies, whether it's Pop Chips or Vita Coco or Pirates Booty or Kind, or there's a lot of other, and they've gone to a lot of cool companies. That network and that family is who I tap into. So once I've decided I want a product and I want to get behind it, I go find the right quarterback, running back, wide receiver from that original family and put them into the right companies because I know how they know how to build it. I know they have the passion, or they know someone. So it's very much it's an extended network that I can tap into for them to go build the company. And I help provide the ideas and the strategy and some of the thinking. But, and a lot of times also there's an entrepreneur who started it. So the founder has got the vision. So you back a great founder. So the founder of Vita Coco's got a great energy and creativity. He's created a phenomenal culture in the company. And so I helped a lot with pushing him to do Madonna like a lot of the sizzle marketing, but in terms of taking the company to the next level, that's his vision has taken that. So mine is just supporting that vision. And then vitamin energy, I was trying to be a me too, right? So what happened was I'm like, oh, well, we have vitamin water, we have smart water, energy's taking off. Let me create an energy drink. And there was nothing different. The problem was, if I wanted to do it, I had the same calories. I didn't have the credibility of energy that Red Bull or Monster had. And there was nothing different. If I'd come out with a smaller vitamin energy and called it 5-hour vitamin energy, it would have worked out great. If I'd come out with a low-calorie or zero-calorie vitamin energy, it would have worked out great. The issue was I went down the rabbit hole and created a product that literally had no differentiation other than the package. And at some point, when you have a poor product, consumers are going to call you out on it. That's what happened. In some ways, it's easier and we can move quicker. In other ways, Stevie doesn't sleep. So I mean, it's not, it's a little tougher because I think that as I've got to a point that we have a lot of different companies. So I may have to start adding people at some point because I have like 7 brands. I mean, I even forget. I mean, from ketchup to juices to, mayo, chips, 3 beverages. Anyway, so.
Hi, I'm Vishal, and I was wondering how you prevent
My brother-in-law's name.
how you prevent your products and your brand from copycats, specifically in foreign markets.
It's a pain in the ass. Not just foreign markets, these markets as well. I think you've really got to be on the watch out for copycats. I think that sometimes, in some cases, I've probably been a little complacent. But I think generally you've got to watch out, and you've got to build scale quickly. Once you get to scale, and once you're big enough and you box some others out, you've got to have a great team to do that. You're a little safer. But in the early days, what happens is some guys, and it's much quicker these days. When vitamin water came out, they weren't copycats right off the bat. They came later. Now, another thing, coconut water or pop chips, they're coming like straight away. Like, you start the company Monday, by Thursday, there's copycats out there. So I think that you've got to really fend them off. You've got to make sure you control your shelf space, get better distribution, outmarket them. You've got to be on the lookout for it. And in foreign markets, you've got to try and trademark your brand. But in terms of actually them coming out with a similar product, it's difficult. But I said earlier, America's huge. You can make a lot of money. You can be very successful in this country just by serving the US market. So my focus has always been, people ask me, why don't you do Africa or India? I'm like, this is the best place to build a brand. And so I start here, and if someone starts a brand in Azerbaijan, I'm okay with that.
Hi there. My name's Jake. I'm right here, the redhead.
Okay.
Hi. So you stress like intuition and your gut and stuff like that. Have you ever had a time where your intuition is different from something that marketing research shows, or something that other managers are saying, and have you had to push through that, or what happens when your gut conflicts with something else?
So I'm a bit of a bully, and so I kind of need like a 5 against 1 scenario. Meaning, if it's just 1-on-1, I'll usually steamroll. If it's 2 or 3, I still pretty steamroll. But once I start seeing a lot of people, the people that I value their input on, like 3, 4, 5, it causes me to step back and think, because I'm not going to have the right answer all the time. And so when multiple people are saying that, I shouldn't have an orange Range Rover, it's probably the time not to have a burnt orange Range Rover. So I think that as I've gone with time, I've gone with my gut, but I also learned to listen to smart people around you. And I think that if you don't do that, then you'll go down the rabbit hole by yourself. Hello. Yes, I do it beyond just marketing. So this beverage here that I think people are going to hand out at some point, it's called Bai. Bai is one of the fastest growing brands in the country at the moment. Why? You guys probably read it, but diet sodas are in double-digit decline, right? Diet sodas are declining quicker than regular sodas, which is beyond me, but because nobody wants to do artificial sweetness. They're like, this is not good for you, right? not that sodas are good for you either, frankly. But so both are in that sort of tough piece. Bai comes out, it's 5 calories, it's naturally sweetened. There's a lot of things that are naturally sweetened that are low calorie. What's the problem with them? It tastes like crap. So to find that holy grail of great taste, low calorie, and naturally sweetened is a tough one. Bai has nailed it. And so I've got involved in the company, and when I joined on the company, there was 2. There was Bai and Bai 5. And I was very clear with my business partner. I'm like, we got to get rid of Bai. Bai was 70 calories. There was no difference. Why would I want to drink a Bai, drink a Snapple, drink a vitamin water? They've got 70, 80 calories a serving. People want 5 calories a serving. That's what they're looking for. So Bai 5 was the sort of the diamond. Let's focus on that. So I got involved in that. Sarah redid the packaging on Bai. It looks fantastic now. And I've pushed in a number of different fronts, whether it's from a retail standpoint, from a team standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, to help get that brand to where it is. And the CEO has a great vision, so he takes a lot of the stuff. We probably agree 80% of the time, and he runs with it. So I'm still very involved, not all the time. I don't need to be there day to day because they're really smart guys who founded the companies, who run the companies. But I come in with some key points and some ideas that help to differentiate it.
Hi, my name is Elena. Is this working? Okay, great. My question is regarding one of the final points that you made in your presentation. You listed on that concluding slide that creative disruption is becoming the new normal. But to me, it would seem that a creative disruption is trying to disrupt the normal. So if we're living in a world where creative disruptions are becoming the new normal, how are companies and brands going to begin differentiating themselves? Like not considering factors like price and quality of the product. How do you differentiate yourself when everyone seems to have a celebrity affiliate or a social media presence? What do you believe is the next step?
There's a lot in that question.
Sorry.
So it's kind of a circular argument. Creative disruption is creating the new normal. The idea, that the example I gave to you is actually the television one. Modern Family as a show has redefined what a modern family is. Modern family shows 10, 15, 20 years ago were very different. Today, you've got the older guy who's divorced with the hot Hispanic wife. You've got the gay couple who adopt the kid from Vietnam. You've got the traditional husband-wife, 3 kids scenario, smart kid, dumb kid. Like you've got the scenario there. So it's like, it's definitely disrupted the way people think about it, and that's now spawned copycats, like we talked about, where they're trying to emulate that and create today's comedies in the new normal vein. So as it relates to products, disrupting it, vitamin water did the same thing. When vitamin water came out, there was no such thing as enhanced water. It was like sodas, juices, sports drinks, energy drinks. We disrupted the beverage space by looking at enhanced water. Vita Coco has followed on suit from that. And so when you come out, and if you're the original, and you create disruption that's meaningful to get people to try a product that's great, that's what the future is going to be. You've got to be one of the first to market. You've got to be something that tastes fantastic and gives people more than what they're getting. And creative disruption is a way to get your brand to the forefront. So if you can do that, and it's not disruption for the sake of it. Like some of the things I showed up there were to get attention for the brand. The brand is what's creating disruption because it's unique. It's a category creator. It's bringing out something that's fresh and different. The ideas, the marketing behind it, just create sort of buzz and disruption in people's mindsets so they try the product. People will always go with the product they like. So it doesn't matter how good your disruption is. If the product's not great, it's never going to work. But I think first to market with creative disruption starts to showcase what potentially the new normal could be. And I think grocery shelves in the next 20 years are going to be very different than the grocery shelves today. And Whole Foods is the pioneer. They're showing it. They're showing, you go to Whole Foods grocery shelf, it is very different to what you see on regular grocery shelves out there.
Hi, my name is Tanmay. First, I just wanted to thank you for coming. It was an absolutely phenomenal presentation. Second, my question is, what would you say your biggest regret has been in your career thus far?
Really? You want me to get on that? You know what? I think I've been very lucky professionally, personally. If I'm greedy, I would say that I should have called my buddy who I didn't follow up on a phone call with him for a small company no one heard of called Uber. And then my other friend I had a meeting with, and Stevie came with me, and We didn't call them, there was no follow-up meeting to Airbnb. So, those are probably two $20 billion ideas that I missed. But I think that, as Sarah keeps pointing out, you got to look at the forward part. I'm lucky enough to be in a number of deals. I'm batting maybe 800, 900, which is pretty good. You're never going to bat 1,000. I've had a couple of losses, but most of them are wins. And so you got to look at what you have. I will whine about stuff that I missed, and usually my girlfriend receives the brunt of it. But fundamentally, inside, I really celebrate the wins that I have, because I think that's the source of what you look forward to. If you keep looking back at what you missed, then you keep looking in the rearview mirror and you don't look forward. And I think that I've been part of some really cool things. And if you miss something, guess what? Go create the next one. So if I didn't invest enough in one brand, I'll go invest in the next big thing, because I'm just starting my career in this game, right? As an athlete, I'd be ending it. It's why Kobe's doing what he's doing, by the way, is because his athlete career is ending, but his entrepreneur career is just beginning.
That is great advice to sort of finish on. Let's hear it for Rohan first.